Says the Gemara. Me'ematay maskirin gevurot geshamim. We're on the top, right? Right. Okay? She'omer mashiv haruach umurid geshem. What is the explanation of gevurot geshamim? That you are going to say mashiv haruach umurid geshem. Yeah, uva Gemara. And in the Gemara, mefaresh ta'ama. What was ta'ama, Philip? The Gemara is going to be mefaresh. What is mefaresh? To explain.
Explains
right?
the reason.
What is ta'ama? The reason. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, the reason. Ta'ama. Amai. What is amai? Why? Just like my, right? Me'ematay. Why? So amai, why? Karile givurot keshamim. That means Rashi is already preempting to you the Gemara's question, why are we calling it gevurot keshamim? So he's saying the Gemara is going to ask it. Don't worry about it. Right? Why? Because they come down with gvura. Shneimar, but it says in a pasuk, oseh gedolot. Now Rashi explains, what do we say? It was a siman klala in the chag. Rabbi Yoshua comes and he attacks Rabbi Eliezer. What are you telling me now? Right? What are you telling me now? This, he says, Rabbi Yoshua comes and he says, right? It's a siman klala bechad. Kede amrinan, as we mentioned, right? As we said, the Masechet Sukkah, the Perek Yashen, right? In the Perek of sleeping. What? Sleep. Me'ematay mutar lefanot mishetisrach hamikpah. When are you allowed, right? Me'ematay, the same language. From when? Mutar, is it permitted? Lefanot. Lefanot means here to leave the sukkah. When are you permitted to leave the sukkah? Mishetisrach hamikpah. When the mikpah is like the porridge, it's like the food, the soup, the bowl, whatever you want to call it, is going to get ruined. Tisrach is misrachat because of the rain. Mashal, it's a parable. Le'eved, to a servant. Sheba limzog kos, that he comes, limzog kos, to do mizigata kos. Mizigata kos is pouring of the cup. L'rabot, to his master. V'shapach lo kiton al panav. And he came and he poured it on his face. Meaning the master came and he poured it back on his face. Right? Yeah, exactly. So therefore he says, and he told him, he comes and he says, I don't want you to serve me. Meaning, don't do me any favors. I don't want you to do me any favors. Okay? Klomar, which means to say, when the geshamim, the rain goes down in the sukkah, hakol yotzin, everybody leaves the sukkah, and it appears, right? Looks, right? That does not want or does not desire that we're going to serve in front of him. So why are we going to mention gevurot geshamim bechag? Listen to these words of Rashi. It appears shehu mitpalel shiavo matar bechag. If you remember, I explained this in the Mishnah. And when we explained this in the Mishnah, we kept on saying, but why? Why, Rabbi, if you're only mentioning it? Rabbi Eliezer is right. You're only mentioning the rain, but you're not asking for rain. So I explained to you with Rashi that it looks like you're asking for rain. Why does it look like you're asking for rain? Because the fact that you come and you already start mentioning it, it already looks like you're asking for something, right? Because if you start mentioning it, means you're asking. You're waking up. You're exactly. You're getting them ready. You're getting them. So that's what's happening. Okay. Next, Rabbi Eliezer answered him, Lo amarti lishol. I never said to ask for the rain, right? Sheet palel ala geshamim bechag. You should pray for rain in the chag. Kigon, for example, the 10 talmata livracha, which is the 10 talmata livracha, ela laskir, only to mention it. Shematchil laskir bechag givurot shel makom. That we're going to start mentioning in the chag givurot shel makom, which is the strength of Hashem. Shemorid geshamim, that He's bringing down geshamim. Okay, when beonato. So beonato means klomar. It means to say bizmano in its proper time. In ken, if so asks Rabbi Yoshua, if so, right? You should mention it all year round. Ve'amai posek bepesach minaskir. Why are you stopping on Pesach from mentioning it? Meaning, Rabbi Yoshua comes and he asks, if you're just praising Hashem, praise Hashem 365 days a year. Why are you stopping on Pesach? Now, technically, again, you guys were asking no, but it's still not beonato, and you go back and forth, and the Gemara will speak about it. Because remember, the Gemara is going to speak about what does Rabbi Gamliel really be'emet say. Okay, but that is the shita of Rabbi Gamliel. Okay.
What's ve'amai? And why?
Amai, why? Mematai, right? It's the same thing. Amai, why? From when or amai is why? Okay. Now the Gemara. Okay. The Rashi and the Gemara. Yeah. Okay. Says the Gemara. Okay. Tana hechakai. Says Rashi. Our Tana, where is he? So he says, Kilomar. It means to say. Yeah. It means to say, right? Midiktani. Midiktani. Me'ematai. Miklal. So says the Gemara, Klomar means to say, Miviktani mematai, from the fact that we learned mematai, miklal, so we can infer the pshitale, that it is obvious to him, lehai tana, to this tana, the chayavim laskir, that we're obligated to mention it. Vehecha chazinan de mechayev laskir. Where do we see chazinan, right? Is to see, like a chazon, to see, right? There usually actually is a prophecy, but it's a concept of seeing. The heicha chazinan. Where do we see the mechayev laskir? You're obligated to mention it. So answers the Gemara, hatam kai. Where's hatam kai? Maskirin gevurot geshamim chule b'mesechet brachot. B'mesechet brachot. So he's telling you where it is. Rashi is telling you already where it is. B'mesechet brachot. So ask the Gemara, shh, velitni hatam. So why don't we learn it over there? B'mesechet brachot. Samuch close by to tani maskirin. That means right after we learned there in Berachot, Tani Maskirin, Litzni Mematai. Which means we should learn it there in Berachot. What are you doing here? So says the Gemara, the Rashi, Litzni, we should learn it. Right? So Maishna de Shavka Dacha. What is the reasoning why we left it until here? Klomar, it means to say, Haidik Tani Hacha Beseder Moed. That which we learned over here in Seder Moed, Me'ematai. Litni hatam, learn it over there. Diktani maskirim mesechet berachot, haynu seder zraim. So if you guys remember, I was explaining to you Rashi in the Gemara, because I don't know how many times you remember that I was explaining to you. One is seder zraim, one is moed. That was all Rashi, exactly. That was all Rashi going into the Gemara. Pashut Pshat in the Gemara was bringing you into the Gemara through the eyes of Rashi. Okay. Now he said, Adhacha until Seder Moed. Ella, but rather, listen to these words now. Ella, lo tema, don't say. Okay, tema is like ema, right? To say. Dehadiktani, that which we learned in the Braita. Me matai dehatam kai, that which we learned, me matai is over there. The Tana me Rosh Hashanah salik, because we just came from Rosh Hashanah, sheshnehem beseder echadhen, that they're both in the same seder. Rosh Hashanah is in Moed. Taanit is in Moed. And therefore we can't ask the question anymore. Why did you leave it until now? Meaning the second that I got you both in the same books, like in the same seder, I can't anymore come and ask you why did you leave it till here, even though it's another Masechet, because it's close by. It's not completely in two different worlds. You understand? So therefore the fact it's close by. So you could have done that. Then it says in the Chag, Havi din alamayim. During the Chag, we have judgment on the water. Omishum detani mematai. So since we said that, mematai avidin alamayim ktani nami ematai zman askara. So therefore, since we're already mentioning when is the din on the water, so we're going to mention when is the zman askara. When do you mention the water? Okay. Then it says vaydi detani bechag nidudin. Klomar agav detana that derech agav. Agav means by the way. Detana bechag nidudin alamayim. Kasavar ben Ashe, he thought to himself, Hoil v'nedonim bechag alamayim. Since Hoil is since, v'nedonim that you're going to be judged bechag on Sukkot alamayim on the water. Shema mina, we learn from here. Ba'inan shema mina. We learn shema to listen. Mina from here, from this. Ba'inan we need leazkir to mention inyane de maya. The inyan is a subject of maya, of rain, leretsuye alamayim, to be leratzot. How do you say leratzot? To appease, to want, to have a wanting on, right, on the water. Deleitu libracha, that they should come with a bracha. Lehacha, deleitu shetavo, right? Lehach kiktani, and therefore we mentioned meimatar miskirin, which means I told you it was a svara, and this was all based upon Rashi again. I told the svara was, since you're already judged on the water in Sukkot, so we want you to mention water on Sukkot. So that way HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what, 1 second. You guys are mentioning, I'm going to bless you with the water and the rain. So therefore I'm going to mention it. Okay?
What's the svara again?
Logic. Okay. Then it says, right? So this is now the psukim. Alma, tichtiv cheker begeshamim, uchtiv cheker bebriyato shel olam. So again, we said cheker. It says cheker by rain, and it says cheker by briyato shel olam, by the creation of the world, just like ma briyato shel olam, just like the creation of the world. Ketiv begevura, it's written by gevura. Av geshamim, also geshamim. Havi keman dichtiv begevura. It's like it's written gevura. Because once I went and I made the double cheker, so just like it's written cheker by, since it's written gevura by Riyat Olam, it's like it's written also by the rain. The Amar Rabbi Yochanan says Rabbi Yochanan, Shalosh maftechot. There are 3 keys. Hainu shelo nimseru leshliach echad beyachad. Rashi came and he's answering a question without telling you the question. I told you that Tosfot asked the question. He asked, 1 second, Eliyahu Navi didn't have the key, right, of the rain. He had the key of the rain. How do we know that the key of the rain? He went and he told us, it's not going to rain. And for 3 years it was famine. So he told them it's not going to rain. And it didn't rain. Then afterwards, he didn't do Tchiyat HaMetim. He did do Tchiyat HaMetim. Right? Afterwards, he didn't come and he didn't make women. What's going on? So Tosafot answers, and also Elisha Navi. Elisha Navi also did Tchiyat HaMetim. So 1 second. So therefore, what's happening is that they come and they say, 1 second, right? If right now, right, we're talking about that there was such a thing. So Tosafot answered, no, he lent it to them, but he never gave it to them forever. But Rashi comes and he's giving you another answer without you even realizing it. And Rashi says, it could be that maybe he does give you a key, but it's never at the same time. It's not at the same time. Not at the same time. Exactly. So therefore, which means this, if right now, let's say, Eliyahu Navi has a key of, let's say, rain, all of a sudden what happens is that he wants to do Tchiyat HaMetim. If you want, you have to switch. Switch the keys. So you give me back the key of the rain, and I'll give you now the key of Tchiyat HaMetim. Now you could do, but at the same time, you cannot use them together. Okay, biyachad. That's what he comes and he says. The truth is, right? Look in the Bach Zayin. Look how beautiful it is. Look in the Bach Zayin. There's a little Zayin there. So look in the Bach Zayin, right? The Bach Zayin. You see in the last letter. Well, those are other letters, right? It says Zayin. Sorry. Now I just don't know what you. Daled He means dibur hamatchil. Dibur is the speech that starts, meaning that since Rashi, it's the Bach. Now we have a little letter. In the olden days, they didn't have letters, right? So what happened is that how do you know where he's going off of? So he writes down dibur hamatchil ve'amar Rabbi Yochanan ve'amar chule, which means we're on that meaning he's giving you the quotation. How do you know where we are?
So we know,
right?
exactly. So we know what he's talking about.
He's already talking about. So again, one more time. You see that little Zayin in the Galtabach? It says, Daled Hey, Dibur HaMatchil. The Dibur, which starts with, Ve'amar Rabbi Yochanan, Ve'amar Biyachad, Nir'eh Be'enai, right? It appears in my eyes. Tekakashi Ale Kushiyat HaTosafot. Rashi had the Tosafot's question. And since Rashi had the Tosafot's question, he came and he answered it without giving you the question. Meaning like this, many times, right? I don't know if you ever learned the Siftei Chachamim. Did you ever see the Siftei Chachamim on the Chumash? Right? The Siftei Chachamim on Chumash, and now they have 11 Pirushim on Rashi. They have books in English. What's bothering Rashi? They have Rashi Kipshuto. They've got, you don't know how many books on Rashi. Rashi by far was one of the greatest Rishonim that they ponder on all of every single word. Even, for example, Rambans, right? Or they're all long. Did you realize? Look at the lengths of Rambans and Or HaChaim HaKadosh, and right? And look at Rashi. Rashi sometimes mamash what's going on? If you learn the Siftei Chachamim, every single time Rashi was coming to answer a question. Now it's up to you to find what the question is. So the Siftei Chachamim, he points out every single time the question, right? He tells you the question. And there's even 11 Pirushim. I got it home. Yudalev Pirushim on Rashi. Every single book, every time Rashi opens up his mouth, there was a question. Maybe you don't know what the question is, but he didn't just come stum. Meaning Rashi doesn't have time to waste to come. He's every single time there's a question. There was a famous story on this. But even with that, there's a question. There was why is he coming to exclude, whether it's from a midrash or he's coming to. It was a famous story of the Balaturim. The Balaturim, right? Rabbi Yaakov Balaturim, he wrote the Tur. So just to understand, he was the son of the Rosh. And remember that the Bet Yosef is based upon the Tur. So imagine what type we're talking about, like one of the Rishonim, the last of the Rishonim. So imagine what type of person we're talking about. They said that he wrote his Sefer, the Balaturim, which the majority is Gematariot and like numerical values and all the incredible stuff. You look at the Balaturim and it's like, wow. He wrote his Sefer at the age of 18, I heard. Yeah, or even younger, 12, 18. There's different opinions, but he wrote it very, very young. And they once told him when he was very, very young, he used to ask all of Rashi's questions. Meaning, without seeing Rashi, he used to come and they used to say, okay, what do you say on this pasuk? And he would come and say, there's a question. And then, that's exactly what Rashi said. Right? That means basically he would come and he would tell you what the question was. When it came to Parashat Vayishlach, it says over there that the Malachim were Olim v'Yordim bo. The Malachim were going up and down the ladder. So they went and they told, right? Remember, that was the story of the dream, right? The Yaakov Avinu was dreaming and the Malachim were going up and going down. So they went and they told the Balaturi, no, you have anything what to say? He says, no. He says, I don't understand you, right? The question that we all ask is, Malachim, where do they live? They live in the Shamayim. So first it should have said written going down and then coming up. Why does it say going up and then going down? So you know what the Balaturim answered? It's only a dream. That was the head of the Balaturim. But Rashi there had the question. So therefore Rashi comes and he answers, says, no, these Malachim, they're coming to switch, that. Why? Everything Rashi had an answer. So here this Bach is coming and telling you, if we didn't have a Tosafot, maybe you wouldn't have even known the question. But Rashi, without you even realizing it, already gave you the answer. So even if you are going to ask the question of Tosafot, you already have the answer in Rashi. It's arguing on Tosafot. The Tosafot came and he said that the answer is that it was never given to you forever. According to Rashi, it could be even for as long as you want. You can't just use them three at once. You have a choice of using one key at a time, right? It's a master key, but it's only one key at a time. You can't use all three at one time, okay? And then the next one just says, Yiftach Hashem velo shaliach, okay? And we're going to stop here, B'ezrat Hashem, okay? The what?